Hello and welcome to this Getting Things Done video with Google Docs, brought to you by Simple Business Solutions. I am Chris, and I'll be walking you through 5 of the best tips that you can use to be more productive and get more done when you're in Google Docs. We're going to do this in less than 5 minutes. So the very first thing that you might want to do in a document is share it to somebody. And there's 3 ways to do that. You can share a document by clicking on File. Then you could say email as attachment, and you can email this to anybody. It'll email as a PDF. You should probably leave it as PDF. And you can email it to anybody on your list, type any message you want, send a copy to yourself, and hit send. People do not need access to this document to get this, and this is a great way to create the most recent copy of something for somebody who doesn't use Google Docs. The downside is that that PDF will not be synced to the document. So what if you do want stuff to be synced to the document? This share button is the way to go. For this, there's a couple of options. One, you can create this shareable link that is just a publicly accessible link. Now, if you do this, anybody with this link will be able to see your documents. So I really don't like to do that. I don't like to do it because it compromises security. What I prefer to do is only allow people to access the documents that I want them to. I will click File, Share, Advanced, and start to type email addresses here. You click an icon, which is also available down in this box, to say whether they can comment or view. I start with view in my head and then make things less restrictive based on whether I know they're going to need to do certain things. If somebody is just reviewing a document, you can click on Can Comment. That'll allow them to comment, which we're going to go over later. Hit Notify People and hit Send. Once the document is shared with them, you can also notify them by clicking on Email Collaborators. And now this sends a personal email to all of the people that are in your share list. Paste the copy of the email in there as well. So there's 3 ways to share out a document. Now you may see that I'm navigating pretty quickly. I'm using what's called a hotkey. Hotkeys allow you to do things like bold, italicize, quickly jump through a document, jump right to the end of a line, allow you to go to the beginning. To access the full list of keyboard shortcuts, just go to Help, Keyboard Shortcuts, and type in whatever you want to do. Let's say, for instance, I wanted to change the font size. I can hit Size, and I know that Control-Alt-K will resize an object to be larger, but what if I want text? Well, Control-Shift, this looks like a period, will increase the text size, and it does. So I can just increase and decrease my text size now without having to click on or move the mouse at all to do anything. Shortcuts will save you a ton of time. Now, you may have noticed as we were sharing documents out to people that you had an option. You could select whether they had edit, comment, or view access. Well, as you're editing a document, you can do the same thing. Up at the top right, you see a pencil. Currently, I'm in editing mode. If I click that pencil, I can choose between suggesting and viewing. And let's just go to viewing for a second. You'll notice all my editing tools are disabled and I can't make any changes. Suggesting is awesome. I can start to type whatever I want here and it will show the markup as it's happening. If I go to viewing, I'm not seeing that markup. If I go to editing, I am seeing it. And as I'm editing, I can also accept or reject the suggestions. That allows you to interactively approve or deny certain suggestions. Now, you might be asking, what's the difference between suggesting here and leaving a comment? If I leave a comment, and by the way, I brought that up with Control-Alt-M on a PC. If I leave a comment, notice it just shows up as a comment. I can resolve it, I can reply to it, etc. But now if I suggest something, we can approve or deny that rather than just resolve it and have to type and do additional work. So comments should be made more general. I don't like the tone of this. Let's add another point here, something like that. But if you're making an actual suggestion, use suggesting mode. The cool thing about comments that you can't do with suggestions is that you can, in a comment, assign a task to somebody. So let's say I were to assign it to myself, I could use plus or I could use at and assign it to myself by clicking Assign To. That will create a task in here, and by assigning it now, I can log in and I can complete it. Between all of those things, you will have the 5 most essential tools: sharing, hotkeys, the workflow, using comments strategically, and then assigning tasks through comments to be more productive than 80% of the people out there. So that's it. Those are your 5 tips in under 5 minutes for Google Docs.